Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing another run of the Lorwyn Eclipsed Collector Booster Box Arena Direct, our chance to win some physical Magic Gathering cards by playing digital Magic on Arena. Best of one sealed. Cracking open 6 packs of Lorwyn Eclipsed and hoping to open better cards than everybody else doing the same thing. We are playing until 7 wins or only 2 losses, which means we have a single loss of breathing room. If we have mana issues in one game, we have no breathing room. We need to win every single game. So it's a very, very high variance event where even the best players in the world are far from guaranteed to get a winning run. Most recently, LSV in the Avatar Collector Booster Box Arena Direct has gone on record saying he spent over like $600 and got 0 boxes. We're not going to play that many events, but we are going to keep running them out this whole week, seeing if we can't get a collector booster box by the end of it. Without further ado, let's hop into the event, see what cards we get to play with today. Okay, we got a couple great white rares. If we have enough Kithkin for the Champion of the Clichan, the Airdo is really nice because you don't really have to have Eddy synergy. It's just a 5-mana 5/5 flying lifelink that's already great. There's a good Merfolk rare, a good Goblin rare, but those are type dependent. A good Elemental rare that's very type dependent. So really depends on what creatures we have the most of in the sealed pool on what's going to be good. We've got Bitterbloom Bearer for pretty nasty fairy, spitting out a bunch of other fairy tokens, and then there's Bloodline Bidding as well in black, which plays well with the bearer because it gives us a lot of permanents to convoke with, so that's interesting too. But the rares are kind of all over the place in terms of colors and really all over the place in terms of creature types, so I can't imagine a deck where I get to play more than like 2 rares, unfortunately. But we'll see. Let's see what we've got. We got double Fur Core for fixing. Eclipsed Realms doesn't really count because usually in sealed you're not going to have enough cards of the same creature type for this to justify getting ran. So we've got double core. A couple Perchers for any deck we play are fine, just flyers to get through a board stall. And then Wicker Maw's fixing 2. It doesn't ramp us, but it does filter our mana into whatever color we need it to be. We don't have any... Okay, we do have a Deep Channel Duelist, actually. So Sig's Command and Deep Channel Duelist towards Merfolk. Then, of course, also there we get to play the Airdo. So that's interesting. But we don't have any other signpost uncommons, just the one Merfolk. I suppose the Eclipsed cards kind of count. Eclipsed Boggart and Eclipsed Flimkin. 1 Goblin and 1 Elemental. There's also the Reaping Willow. If we're very heavy into white or black, I think this card is a very good deal. A 3/6 lifelink that reanimates something. Super good. Alright, cool stuff. Oh, I'm seeing double Prodigy in red. That already has me kind of excited there. But red isn't where some of our strongest rares are. That's where the Elemental Champion is, which is not a great one. Right, Kithkeeper's super slow. We have no Kithkin for this Champion of the Clichan. That's kind of embarrassing. We've got 1 Wary Farmer. We have 1 Wary Farmer and 3 Changelings for this champion. That looks really bad. What if we're like the dedicated Kithkin colors for green-white? Then we get 2 more. 1 more Kithkin Ranger and 1 more Shapeshifter. Gross. Alright, well, we can't use this champion, really. There's double Adherence in green, though, which is just a really strong card, so I do want to keep that in mind. Let's see. Trying to look at just white here, but you gotta look at the hybrid cards. We've got Spiral into Solitude, Keep Out for good removal, and then some fine tricks. Rather play Reflexes than Appeal. Champion's not gonna work. And some of these creatures are kind of synergy driven and just not great by themselves, like double Tributary Vaulter, but we have Deep Channel Duelist and Sig's Command, so if we have a lot of blue Merfolk, then the Tributary Vaulter will be playable. But off of just the Vaulters and like some Feastlings, I mean, I guess they play well with Feastling, right? You attack with a 4-power lifelink if you have these both on board. Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is a reasonable stack of white, but in order to really want to play it, I would want our secondary color to play well with it, so... You know, fingers crossed, hopefully that secondary color would be blue. If we've got a bunch of good blue Merfolk stuff, then I could see blue-white being a spot to be. All right, here we are now in blue, which looks fine. It's low on creatures, unfortunately, but we do have a few merfolk, as well as a very strong 3-drop elemental. Rhymekin Recluse is just a super strong tempo play, regardless of what creature types you're running. And Spinners is a fine 5-drop, but our blue is a lot worse than our white. But again, it would give us Sig's Command and Deep Channel Duelist, so it could still be worth it. The Wanderwine Farewell is a really nice top-end card. What about black? Black gives us Bog Slither's Embrace, Bitterbloom Bearer, Grub, Bloodline Bidding. What does Grub do here? Enters or transforms. Pick up a goblin from your graveyard. We've got a lot of changelings with triple feastling at worst. That will help. There's a couple goblins. Still doesn't look like a great grub deck. The flip side of grub's pretty fun, making duplicates of whatever you blight onto. But off of black alone, goblin count is 6, and then changelings are 3, and that's including Eclipsed Boggart. Which is only going to work if we're dedicated to just black-red, because otherwise it's a very difficult mana cost. Let's see, black looks solid. Red gives us double Explosive Prodigy, which I'm pretty pumped about. The Flamekin to tutor out the Explosive Prodigies. Not tutoring exactly, but to help dig for them. Champion the Path, but this sealed pool doesn't have a ton. There's 7 elementals. And some shapeshifters. I guess we could play Champion of the Path. It's right on that borderline. We got Boulder Dash for removal, and that's it. No, there's the Cinder Strike. Cinder Strike and Boulder Dash. Some mid-combat tricky stuff. A little bit of card draw with Burning Curiosity. Red also looks fine. The best thing going on in red easily being double Explosive Prodigy being quite exciting. Didn't really add a lot of goblins here, because 2 of the goblins are the hybrid ones, so there's only 2 more goblins. There's 1 glutton, 1 auntie. So the black-red goblins just isn't looking quite as good as just going blue-white merfolk if we're just playing a typal deck. What about our green? The one thing I like a lot about our green is the double Moon Vigil Adherence. I think that card's really scary. Power toughness equals the number of creatures on your board and creatures in your graveyard, so it's just a super, super big draw in the late game. Even if you're not really a self-mill deck, and we have at least 1 Midnight Tilling and a couple Surveilling Informants for that. We don't really have any elf-typal synergies. So it's not like we're really playing like a green-black elves deck or anything. We would just be playing green X good stuff. But it'd give us double adherence, which I think is pretty huge. We've got double Assert Perfection in green as well, so we have solid removal into color. Yeah, I'm going to look at the sealed pool again. I felt like our colors, none of them were like massively better than the rest from what I saw. So I just want to really take a peek at just the individual strongest things we could be doing and what I think would be the most worth it. So white giving us Airdew is a pretty strong card. I do think all of our green Kithkin were pretty good, pretty playable. The Crossroads Watcher, the Mist Meadow Council, and the Wary Farmer. So we could play like every Kithkin in the sealed pool if we go green-white to where we could play the champion as well. Which again, every Kithkin in the sealed pool would be how many Kithkin? Changelings 2, 6 shapeshifters, 4. It's 4? That's every single Kithkin? What? What? Okay, never mind. I mean, there's Kithkin tokens too, though, right? On Kithkeeper, that's it. Do I do some weird Vivid nonsense with my double core and my Wicker Maw? That would make the Kith Keepers stronger. We could splash other rares in, because these are cards of literally any color. And then we play the Kith Keepers at the top. We don't really have splashable rares. Our rares are very type-oriented. It's like doing merfolk stuff, or having all creatures the same type for bloodline bidding. Having a bunch of elementals for champion. What if I go red-green? Splash in the white? Do some vivid nonsense? Gets our prodigies to be super strong. We get to play the beefiest creatures with the adherence. That helps the Kith Keepers go kind of hard. I feel like this is one of our less clear sealed pools. Got 10 creatures. Need double white for Erdu, but it's a really strong card, so it could be worth trying to go for it. Erdu over the Perchers. Something like this for some Naya Vivid bomb power. Deck's a bit finicky, but it has the potential for some really strong stuff. It might just be blue-white merfolk, honestly. It might just be the boring path here. Getting the Lord and the command there. Looks like the best typal deck we have. Go a lot deeper into white than blue, and we can play a Reaping Willow in it as well, which could be pretty sick. We get the Erdu being in this color pair as well, so we get some merfolk synergy, and then we also get the big flying lifelinker still. There weren't really enough elementals in the whole sealed pool to make use of the champion too well, but red is an exciting color with the prodigy. Do some weird red-black good stuff. Because again, the goblin count's not quite there, so it wouldn't even be goblins. The mana curve is rough. There's going to be 3 2-drops, because we're probably not playing Wickermon here. So we're not getting aggressive. Oh yeah, that's just not a Kith Keeper deck, really. I mean, Duelist and 6 command when we high roll. This looks very similar to the Naya deck to me, where it's like on average just pretty mid, but sometimes it's going to high roll and have really good hands. It's one of those sealed pools where we have just enough stuff in a bunch of different areas that nothing ended up being great, and kind of everything ended up being okay. Right, there's a lot of sealed pools where like 1 or 2 colors will just be completely unplayable. It's not really the case for this one. Everything is technically playable, but that also means that nothing like stacked up all the goods into one color. Just not quite where you want to be in sealed. You would much rather they just do stack up. 8 goblins and 5 shapeshifters. Maybe we can do black-red goblin bloodline bidding nonsense. This color gives us Bitter Bloom Bearer. This color pair gives us Bitter Bloom Bearer, double Explosive Prodigy. I mean, we could Explosive Prodigy Elementals on the right board state. We want to run every changeling for the bloodline bidding. Reaping Willow is going to be a little hard to cast. We could treat it as another 6-drop. Just don't expect to play it early often. Is the elemental count enough for Champion of the Path? 6 other elementals and 5 shapeshifters? I guess it is. If I keep Flamekin in there, which is another one that's, due to the difficult mana cost, gonna be more like a 4 or 5 mana card. Still 23 creatures, so mainly cutting creatures. So good creature, great creature. Or sorry, good creature, great creature, good creature. Mauler's not the best, but it has the elemental type. Excellent creature. Excellent creature. The rest are kind of just okay. Elm doesn't have good types, but a good ability. We're really not super tokeny or creature dying-y, so Auntie seems pretty bad despite having a good creature type. And we probably don't need 3 Feastlings. Cut some amount of those. 4 mana. I kind of want to cut the Champion of the Path. Just lower my elemental and changeling count a little bit here to where that's not going to be the most consistent to cast. It's the kind of card where even when it is consistent to cast, because of its very low toughness, it doesn't really do combat. It's just there to get some extra pings, which won't happen immensely often without a really high elemental count. We're not going to have a really high elemental count. We've only really got one card that's really good to blight onto, which is the Willow. I guess if I keep the Willow and the Gnarlbark Elm, maybe we can get Gut Splitter Gang shenanigans on occasion. 20 creatures. Yeah, so cut 3 more creatures and then we'd have a deck here. This actually does look better than the blue-white deck. The curve's better. The card quality, I would say, is even higher with Grub and Bearer and an Eclipsed card, a Reaping Willow, and a Bloodline Bidding. I think I'm going to cut down a bit on the red to make it easier to hit triple black on Willow. So cut the double red card, cut some of these filler red tricks, and just play a bunch of black stuff. Although this is now a really high creature count. We're on 19. Do they have any good non-creature black spells to put in? I could play Scarblade's Malice, that's fine. Play that over another creature. So cut 1 Feastling for 1 Malice, sure. So I got the core if we want to splash around, but again, our strongest cards aren't really splashable. They're Merfolk specific cards, they're double green cards, and they're double white cards. You know, despite it having the wrong creature types, I could play the 2-mana 2/2 lifelink elf. Just a 2-mana 2/2 lifelink on curve is good. It's a black card instead of a red card, so it can get us deeper into black. It's also self-mill towards the bidding. And self-mill towards the Willow. I wouldn't hate it. Still 6 goblins and 4 shapeshifters. Still 10 goblins total. If we cut like Auntie for the 2/2. Or if we cut Feastling for the 2/2. Either way is basically cutting a goblin. If I'm cutting this low on red, there's another path we could think about that's kind of weird but might be good. Which would be black, white, splash the red for prodigies alone. And we get an Airdo we can even flip, and we get the Kithkeeper Vivid stuff again. Five changelings. A bunch of different types that we have 4 or 5 of. So we could still get some bidding value. Obviously a little more awkward, a little less consistent for bloodline bidding, but now we get Airdo as well. This way we get Airdo, Bitterbloom Bearer, Explosive Prodigies, Eclipsed Boggart, Grub. Just jam as much power into this one deck as possible and as much removal into this one deck as possible. Let's just pick something in the end here. Let me know if you had any of these decks you really preferred. I don't really feel like any of them that I've seen are massively better than the rest, but I kind of like this one, being able to jam as much raw power into the deck together as possible. Similar to the green, red, white one. But let's go for this one and just whittle it down and get a deck going. We're on 23 creatures. Let's cut mostly creatures right now. If we cut any non-creature cards, it should probably be the red ones. We're already splashing in double Prodigy for removal creatures. Gut Splitter Gang is very bad when we don't have one of the blight cards. But we have 3 great blight cards for it: Lamenter, Elm, and Willow. I guess I cut Boulder Dash before Strike because of how much good blighting stuff we have. But I could see dropping Gang here. It is gonna be a detriment when we don't have one of our tree folk. It's gonna be a big downside. Goblin count's down to 4, and we're splashing into a 3rd color, so I'm not as excited about the Eclipsed Boggart anymore. It's going to be difficult to cast and not really draw a creature that often. Sometimes it'll draw like a changeling, but none of the changelings are that good. It would be okay value. Cut one of these perchers. And we've got a deck. Okay. Goofy little Mardu play all the good stuff deck. Hopefully some top-end Kith Keepers can get a lot of stats out. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out for us as we hop in the gameplay. Well, I'm going to adjust the mana base, but then we'll hop in the gameplay and see how well it does. All right, the amount of double and triple black stuff and having our cheapest black cards, or our cheapest spells be black cards, means I'm going to go 9-6-2 split on this. 2 cores means 4 red sources total, 8 white sources, 11 black here. Now we'll call it a deck here, hop in gameplay, see how far this one can take us. Here we are on the play for game 1. We have both of our colors, but we've drawn all 3 of our 7 and 8 mana cards. So we have to draw into early plays, and then we're doing nothing for a long time. This feels like a forced mulligan. There's just a lot that can go wrong here. Alright, we will keep this one, ditch the 6-drop, and use the core to get to the Eridu early. Playing against a green deck. Green-blue, there's Surly Farrier. Poke for 2, drop the core. Back down to 18. There's a keep out for us. Not worried about it. We'll see if they can blow up an Eridu. Didn't draw a land. So, if I drew a land, I would not flip it. Then I could convoke out Kithkeeper with Prankster, but since I didn't draw land, I'd have to tap Eridu to convoke it out. So I think I'd rather just have Persist for now. I mean, if they're going to kill something, they're going to kill Eridu first. But if I have Persist, I get to attack with Prankster and Eridu. Well, they're already not going to block with Wellguard. I'm going to just keep Eridu on Convoke towards a Kithkeeper. Spiral the Well Guard. I probably should have exiled it immediately, putting a blight counter on Prankster, because I just realized I can't respond if they Convoke with Well Guard. If they play anything that lets them tap it for an ability, I can respond before that card like resolves. But if they're casting a Convoke spell, Well Guard's going to become tapped. And there's also that. Rough. Well, I guess it actually did work out okay, because now I'm blighting onto something that's going to die anyway. But they would have had to hardcast that instead. Oh my god, they have a Convoke card too, the pun! So we gave them an extra 1/1 flyer that they wouldn't have had otherwise. Could just attack with a 4/4 core, but I think I just get another creature on the board anytime that I can cast one. Okay, well, this is an awkward punt. I'm surprised they had like nothing else there. It's just 2/3 and a 3/3. We'll take what we can get, honestly. That'll be 1-0 heading into game 2. Here's another mulligan, double red card in the opener. This is a keep, ditch one of the 2 cores, probably. Play 1 towards Prodigy, and then also get towards Airdew. Yeah. Gravelgill Scoundrel to start our opponent off. They're on blue-red. Go to 19, and they pass. Double Explosive Prodigy hand. They're not good if they're the only creature you have, because then we're just on only red permanents. Deal 1 damage. I imagine Airdew's not going to stick around, but we'll see. Wander Wine Distractor, blue-red Merfolk, double Merfolk here. There's Bitter Bloom Bearer. Interesting. Still just run out the Airdew, I think. If I flash in a Bitter Bloom Bearer, we get a blue and black permanent. That's 3 damage explosive prodigies, which are insane on this board. No, I'm going to go Bitter Bloom Bearer and keep out. It plays better against sorcery speed removal because they can't use sorcery speed removal on that, but they could on Airdew. And then it also just gives us insane explosive prodigies in a moment. I keep out this Distractor. I think I can keep out Distractor and still find another target for a 3 damage prodigy later. I would need 4 damage, so I need a white permanent out first. If I draw land, we do it. Ayo. Does creature spells have Convoke? Yes. So now we have 4 colors, and then a red from core, plus Convoke with somebody else. Boom, shoot a Daydreamer. What a turn. I could even play another Prodigy. Just killing a Gravelgill Scoundrel? I don't think I do. I think I hold on to this. Unless they like board wipe me, this will still deal 2 or 3 damage later. They do have the Feed the Flames for the Airdew, but we got Bitter Bloom Bearer popping off. So we're still in a good spot. Opponent says lands, am I right? Probably stuck on some double blue cards in hand or something. Moonlit Lamenter's not a bad draw. Does mean I'm going to hit a little less hard this turn. So I can draw off of that instead of hitting with the core. They do have the Tweeze for the Bitterbloom Bearer. Still poking for 3 a turn in the sky. And we don't care about the Scoundrel. Gotta replug my headphones in real quick. Apologies. I lost my cord, my normal cord for these headphones, and now I'm using a cord from a different headset. Glitches up every now and then. You gotta just get a replacement cord. It's like $5 or something. Deceit. To kill one of the creatures and have a 5/5. Well, the 5/5 body is pretty bad for me. I don't really have a good play here because if they kill Moonlit Lamenter, I only do 3 damage. I guess 3 damage is enough to kill Deceit. I'd have to lose a 2/5 and play a Prodigy for it. I can't like double attack here or anything. Yeah, and then they could just not block with Deceit. And that works fine for them to keep the core off of them. I think we still just pass here. Instead of just killing Scoundrel. There's a Flame Braider for a 2/2. They're on a 5-turn clock. If we can keep our flyers. Never mind. We're flooding out and they are stable. Yep, nothing to really say here. There's no lines. I mean, I could kill the Flame Braider if I'm worried that they have double Elemental Mythic. The Flame Braider gives them 2 mana of any color for specifically elementals, so if they have another Elemental Mythic, it could hit like the double white or the double green for it if it's one of the off-color ones. Spinners having Hexproof is rough. They attack with it, it doesn't have Hexproof anymore. If they don't have a way to untap it. And then our Prodigy's unlocked. Bloodline Bidding. On fairies for 1 creature. Or try to get these Prodigies killed and then bidding on elementals. Disruptor of Currents. Bounce it back to their hand. Deceit plus Disruptor of Currents. Good stuff for our opponents. One Bitterbloom Bear is not going to win this game. Because I'm going to keep getting pinged and I don't have good blocks on the ground. For Deceit and Scoundrel. I guess I will once the core unlocks. Maybe I have to bidding on fairies. It could also be like attack with Prodigy now, put it in grave next turn, attack with another Prodigy, then bidding on elementals, kill 2 of their cards. I just think putting the Bitter Bloom Bearer back on the board is just a little too risky. If I do that and then they just sit behind their 4-3, I'm pinging myself in the face every turn and just trumping until I die, pretty much. There's another flyer for them to not die to the bearer. Yeah. We're gonna have a problem with illusion spinners. But we can kill unwelcome sprites. And disruptor of currents. Can't reanimate core with bloodline bidding. Okay, because spinners is such a problem, I probably have to wait another turn. So the 3/3. Blossom Bind Lamenter, so we're guaranteed to have a white permanent out. White, blue, black, 2 4-damage pings, kill the spinners and the sprites. Or the spinners and the scoundrel. Take 1 damage every turn from this scoundrel. I might have to kill the scoundrel instead of the unwelcome sprite because I have 2 1/1 flyers. But obviously can't block unblockable. It's a good one. Oh wait, I don't have the red anymore. It's not a great one. I lied. It's a top deck war. Hello, Reaping Willow. Reaping Willow for Bitter Bloom Bearers, kind of huge. I'm not going to want to block with the Bitter Blue Bear, so I'm still holding a token back here. Colwrath Mystic. Oh my god. I could chump attack with a life linker just to get out of reach of random Tweez style burn. I think I have enough creatures to do that. Just to play it really safe. Especially with a Kithkeeper coming up. All right. That is 1-0. I don't know. Where am I? 2-0. 2-0 heading into game number 3. All right, here we are for game number 3. This is a slower hand. Just gonna play a Core and a Reaping Willow with nothing to reanimate. But I think because the mana is really good, I'm just gonna keep it here in sealed. No, you're not allowed to play 1 mana 3/2s in sealed. These first 2 cards is this hand's worst nightmare. 1 mana 3/2 into the 2 mana 2/1 that guarantees they draw into another creature, so they have their turn 3 play. Thoughtweft Lieutenant is the draw, which is going to give +1/+1 trample every turn. Oh my god. This is on the play too. Oh, the double trigger on the Aspirant. What an opener. Aspirant into Kithkin, into double Kithkin. We're pretty dead. Into removal on Lamenter, yep. Well, at least they haven't found a green source. We're at 5 though. This is unreasonable for sealed. They got 1 more removal spell and their hand's just like straight unbeatable on the play. Mono white creature with flash, this can cost 5. The only one I can think of is the bomb rare, which would kill us no matter what we do. Speaking of killing us no matter what we do, I don't think we can survive. I guess I play Sundappled Celebrant, because all I can do here is play 1 blocker, so might as well play the biggest one. So we're like still dead to 1 removal spell, but I guess because Willow has lifelink, if they play nothing, we live. If they had removal last turn, they would have used it last turn, though. Oh, we're so lucky. We're so lucky that curve ended at some point. I can't draw a card and play Percher. I can't Fear Dot Core and play Percher, so we just play Percher so we can gain some life here. So they're drawing exclusively green spells, I have to imagine. They've got some kind of castable white instant, maybe, if they're not playing in full control mode. Wow, that was lucky. We dodged a major bullet there. That hand was absolutely a keep for them. They played it right, keeping the monocolored hand. If your opening hand is 1 mana, essentially 3 to at minimum, it's Kinsbale Aspirant into Eclipsed Kithkin into Festival, Plains, and then a bunch of green spells. I'm like, you keep that, because you know that you are putting so much pressure on those first 3 or 4 turns. They had those and a Spiral into Solitude, so it could have really been those 4 spells and 3 planes, and then just for the rest of the game, it was exclusively green draws. Man, that was very, very lucky. Extreme bullet dodged there, and that is going to lead us to another positive record run, no matter what happens in this collector booster box run. That is a 3-0 record as we head into round 4. Here we are on the play for game 4. Let's see what we can get done with a turn 2 Bitterbloom Bearer. 2 pieces of removal to back it up as well. Should be pretty nice. Playing against a green deck. Green-red, they start with Flame Chain Mauler. I think Gnarlbark Elm's a very good play right now, because now they have two targets on our board they really need to kill. They need to kill our Gnarlbark Elm, and they need to kill our Bitterbloom Bearer. And they're going to tweeze the Elm, which means that the Bearer is going to stick around. No blocks. Reaping Willow to go with the Elm is the draw. Show me more removal, opponent, or perish. Twin Flame Travelers, well, that's going to die, for sure. Cinder Strike or Spiral? Cinder Strike's more efficient. Oh, I could have the world's nastiest turn of all time. Oh, I'm 1 mana off from doing that. It's 3 mana, not 2 mana. Dang it, I could almost have had the world's nastiest turn. This is still pretty good. This is still pretty good, even if I'm not killing the Mauler just yet. I'm still kind of living the dream here. Luminolisk, you got it. Kithkeeper's the draw? What happened? What did I do to deserve this amount of gas? This is crazy. Yeah, they're just scooping. They're so done with it. I doubt we're ever going to draw a better hand than that. That was wild. That was a quick victory for game 4, and we're now 4-0 for another very positive record on this Arena Direct run. Keep this hand here. Scout into Lamenter. Lamenter digs a little bit. There's a grub. Let's see if Scout mills one of our changelings. Nope. Plains. Not terrible mills. There's a core, so that'll be the red source for Prodigy. I don't mind the Scout Sneakling trade, but also I could just play a Prodigy instead. So let's set up the Prodigy play next turn to kill the Sneakling. They're missing lands. Prodigy the Sneakling play a Wickermaw. Surveil Mountain to Grave when we have the core on the board. If they blow up the core, I can bring it back with grub. It's kind of the reverse of some of the runs we were having in the middle here. That's the thing about best of one sealed. Sometimes you just get absolutely crushed. It's disheartening. It feels like there's nothing you could do. And then sometimes your opponents just draw nothing and it happens to them and you just don't even have to play cards. It's just free wins every now and then. Which feels like what half this run has been, is free wins up to being all the way in the money. No matter what, we are getting more than we paid back out of this event towards another entry in the future. That is 5-0 heading into game number 6. All right, here we are on the play for game number 6. This hand's not doing a lot. I have no red for the Prodigy and no red to flip the grub. The flip side of grub is what actually does something in this deck. Front side really doesn't do anything here. And we have an 8 drop that doesn't do anything until much later. I think I have to mulligan that. We'll keep this one, but it's honestly not much better. We'll ditch the 7 drop over the red card. It's fair enough, we get some awkward hands. We have a lot of cards that don't directly synergize too well together, so, you know, for every insane synergy hand that we draw like we had in game 4, we'll hit a hand like this that's just like stuff. Here's my pile of stuff. All right, we'll definitely kill a Redree next turn off of the Furdot core for Explosive Prodigy. Playing against green, white. Kinsbale Aspirant, 3 mana, 2/1. Not the best stat line, since they didn't have any Kithkin in their hand. There's a safe right Cavalry to hold us off. Poke us for 3 with Aspirant. Play a Celebrant here. Celebrant both attacks and blocks well versus the Percher just attacking well. Yeah, Celebrant over Percher. There's no way I can play both, right? I'd have 3 untapped creatures, 1 land that's 4 out of 6 mana. They can send in Cavalry for 4, because if I block, they just spend all their mana and kill Celebrant. But if I don't block, then they can just not spend their mana and play more cards. That's part of what's so strong about cards with activated abilities like that. The threat of activation gets you extra damage in. Well, we are not drawing well for a big green matchup. We need to draw a bunch of removal spells. We've drawn no removal spells right now. Because I should have main phase 2'd the Percher here. Would have made them more likely to trade, but they still take the trade. Cavalry's kind of just going to shred us. Nearly impossible to block it well. You can only single block it. And it's like a 6/6 at minimum. A little bit of flood. They're 18 here. I don't know if this is really worth it, but I can't kill the cavalry anyway, because I can't double block it with core plus the other stuff. They've got a flash creature here. Or are they just pushing 6 damage in? I'm just pushing 6 damage in. Cool. We actually had a chance of racing if this were any non-land. Basically any creature, because we could hit for 6 and then play a chumper. And then they're at 6 life, so that would have been huge. Yeah, literally any non-land, because all of our non-lands are either a creature or a removal spell, so... All right, last chance. Oh, they tapped themselves out? They tapped themselves out of activating the ability just for fun, and that's gonna get them if they don't have a combat trick. When we go for it, I can't just blow up Liminal Hold. I would gain some life and then just trump. Oh my god, they tapped themselves out of saving that. They got a turn to draw a blocker, just like we had that final turn to draw a creature. Or to draw removal. Oh my god. Oh, that's gotta feel abysmal for our opponent. They were flooded out, so they just activated it to send a message of like, yeah, whatever, I got nothing to do. I'll just buff this thing up. Even though it's trump blocked, just to be like, yeah. I got nothing, what do you got? And then I drew the 4 damage spell they could have saved it from if they held their mana. That's cruel stuff from Magic Arena. The way the cards lined up there, but it is wonderful stuff for us on this side of the table. That is 6-0. That's at least a couple of these games that we very well could have lost if things were played just a little bit differently. We are now well in the money. 10,800 gems and 32 packs as the minimum prize out. But we have 2 more chances now to get that collector booster box. If we can win 1 out of the next 2 games, then we got there. Sand really needs to draw a land, and then it gets to start with Moonlit Lamenter to draw cards towards trying to hit the black sources. We have a lot more swamps than plains in the deck, and we're on the draw, so I think it's keepable, but it's still very borderline keepable because of how high mana value the cards in the hand are. Celebrant's not horrific because it can convoke, but having Kithkeeper and Bloodline Bidding is certainly rough. I think we keep this on the draw, considering any land in the whole deck hits Lamenter, and we're way more likely to hit black sources than anything else to play the Prankster. We're on 17 lands and 2 cores as well when we're talking about these 7 and 8 drops. So, mana draws are quite likely. Unfortunately, not the swamp yet. Our opponent similarly monocolored Mountain, but they hit their swamp early. Ooh. We hit our only other 7 drop in the deck, both Kithkeepers. If the game goes long, this will be really good. We can play both of them in Bloodline Bidding Elementals, but it does mean they can put a lot of pressure on me early here because I'm not doing a ton. I'm just going to play and draw the card here. Make it as likely as possible that we have our land next turn, and that's an Erdu as the draw. Kind of forgot about that. We haven't played that since the first few games. But it's a very good card. The Convoke here is kind of legit too. For those Kith Keepers. Play it, put it at risk of removal. If they just tap out for removal, I still like block the 4/4, take 3, I'll be fine. I think we just go for it, because it's like if they don't have removal in this hand, then we just pop off. Convoking like all our creatures out really quickly and starting to get to Kith Keepers. The first Kith Keeper making the second Kith Keeper get another one, because it'll give me a green permanent. They got Convoke removal in the end step? No. This is an elemental as well for Bloodline bidding. But they exiled it. Never mind. They've got Vigilance, but we got 5 Toughness. We'll stare at each other. Explosive Prodigy on the Elf makes them at minimum makes them discard a card here. I don't hate it. I won't be playing Celebrant this turn, but I have the 2/5 on Pummeler already. Just get more colors on board pre Kith Keeper. If I play a Sun-Dappled Celebrant, I would be tapping out of the Lamenter. This would be my only blocker. Then if they have another removal spell, it'd be pretty bad for me, so I'm gonna go Prodigy Prankster. We'll make them discard like a land here, probably. But again, still a 2-for-1 from Prodigy, even if they discard a card. And then I have a 1/1 to block the 3/1 in the future as well. Keep making them discard more stuff. And gobbly gobble. Working those Kith Keeper colors up. There's our keep out target. We need to kill that before they reanimate anything from grave, or that's going to take over the game with the amount of value it can get. I mean, they don't have anything in grave yet, but if they get stuff in grave, spamming things back out over and over. Do I hold up keep out mana right now? Drawing the Wicker Maw pre-Kith Keepers is also awesome. I think I'm stable enough on board to just hold up the keep out to kill the Dissident as soon as they activate it once. Although, Cinder Strike can kill it too, now that I'm drawing Cinder Strike. So I guess I'm just going to do that. I could mill the Cinder Strike though, because I'm real close to Kith Keepers as incredible top end. I think I want mana badly enough to mill this Cinder Strike. But what I was going to say is the other thing to think about with the keep out is that's not going to be tapped next turn. It's still summoning 6, so it won't be tapped until our next end step, so we should still play Celebrant first. Regardless. But I will be planning to keep out the Dissident in the future. Oh, they are just going to surveil in their upkeep instead of the end step. So I guess we could have kept it out now. But we still get to cast keep out on it before it has any chance of reanimating anything either way. Deceit. There goes Bloodline bidding then. That's a bummer. They might hit keep out, actually, to get their Dawn Hand Dissident rolling. Yeah, I'd actually be the saddest if I lost keep out here. I think our hand's strong enough that this is certainly not the end of the world. But it does make the game a lot closer than it would have been. We went from a very good position to a solid position. Bidding or keep out, I think, are really their only options, because if they hit a Kith Keeper, I'm just going to bring it back with bidding later anyway. I think keep out is their best bet. so they can do the Dawnhand Dissident thing. But it's a painful position to be in. That's not the kind of hand you want to see when you deceit somebody. You just know the nightmares that are to come. Okay, they hit the bloodline bidding. So we know they don't get to do dissident stuff. And now we're 1 land from Kithkeepers with 4 colors on the board for them. And we're just passing through. We don't really have any good trades. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to attack with Celebrant. Trade into a Deceit or a Pummeler just to whittle the board down a little bit, but it looks like our plan's going to be sending in Flying Kithkeepers. I guess if the plan is sending in Flying Kithkeepers, then we do need to get the Pummeler for hire out of the way. But if I lose Celebrant killing like Pummeler, then they start attacking with Deceit. Yeah, no, we just hold it up here. Chunky blocker. We're going to get 4 1/1s from the first Kithkeeper and then 5 from the second one. We can do Wickermaw on blue, and then Kithkeeper makes the green cards. Oh, is this the destroy a mana value 3 or greater and destroy an artifact? That'd be really gross. Kill the Celebrant and the Wickermaw, kill both of our cards. And lower our Vivid. Kind of looked like, because they were highlighting our stuff and then highlighting one of their creatures, like they were trying to target 2 things and blight onto their own card. Guess it's not Pyrrhic Strike, or if it is, they're holding on to it. Land. No. These aren't goblins. Why do you always do this, Grub? Grub might just be actively bad in this deck. I think this deck does have some awkward deck building choices, so it's kind of crazy it's taken us the farthest. Yeah, I've drawn no changelings. I guess if the core ends up engraved, that'll bring it back. Would I rather hold this just in case they do have artifact removal and choose to blow up our mana? Or do I just play this to get a flip on it? Make a tapped attacking copy of something I blight onto, which could be Lamenter to draw 2 cards and then lose Grub. You know what? Sure. Because Grub also picks stuff up when Grub transforms back. So if I play Grub now and then they blow up the core later, I could still get it back later potentially, because I've got red off Wickermaw as well to be flipping Grub back and forth. This is a main phase, right? Yes. Feels like they've moved a lot of upkeep triggers into main phase for stuff that you like spend mana on. That way you know what you draw first, which is kind of nice of them, because it's like, if this were an upkeep trigger and we chose to flip, if I top decked the land, it would mean I don't get to play a Kithkeeper that turn because I spent a mana. But because it's a main phase trigger, we don't have to choose until we know whether or not we drew a land. So if I draw a land, I'll just play a Kithkeeper. If I don't draw a land, I'll flip a Grub. Alright, or Grub just gets killed by Explosive Prodigy, which is fine too. That means that Prodigy's not killing a Kithkeeper. Clear out the Pummeler. Unless they blow up Wickermaw in response to this. I still need to just try to kill the Pummeler so that my Kithkeeper don't have to trade into it. Okay. Reach creatures out of here for whenever we hit that 7th mana. This does not look good. Tristan's command. Yeah, that is awful, awful. Pick up Dawnhand, Dissident, and Pummeler for hire, and they can keep looping the Dawnhand, Dissident, and Pummeler. Yeah. Alright, that's super scary. Tristan's command, one of the biggest bombs in Sealed. If they opened up one of the penance, they can go infinite with it, where they just keep picking the command back up. And that was super, super bad for me. Come on, land number 6. We're halfway through. I know we can get there. Although then again, Kithkeeper would just trade into the Pummeler and they'd be playing it again with Dissident. We have to find a way to kill Dissidents. Spiral into Solitude and Bogslither's Embrace are our remaining removal spells. They do reduce a lot of colors for Kithkeepers if I make any blocks here. I think we actually take this because we need the Vivid. We have reasonable blocks on board, but again, the Vivid is big. Okay, there we go. Can only buff itself. Attack with a 2/3 goblin, but the elf could just discard a land, potentially. We might have to not attack with our Kithkeepers. Just waiting to draw removal for Dissident first. Because of how bad trade into Pummeler and then them just replaying Pummeler would be. Yep. Pummeler for hire. Would trade into a Kithkeeper and come back from the grave thanks to Dawnhand Dissident. They would trade, and then they blight 2 counters onto Deceit to exile Pummeler, and then they untap Surveil 1. That's now the 3 counters they need for the blight recast Pummeler. We could get them to punt here and blight cards out of our grave, which doesn't do anything with Dissident. If we're lucky. Maybe they've never played with Dawnhand Dissident before. Oof. Cinder Strike. Yeah, that is super, super bad. When it's better to trade into a removal spell than it is to trade into a Pummeler right now when they have Dissident on board. The all colors Kithkeeper. They are just going to surveil. And then as soon as something dies, they can do the Blight to exile it from grave and get ready to cast it. So we're looking for Spiral, Into Solitude, and Bog Slither's Embrace as the biggest draws. Reaping Willow would not be a particularly good draw because they could exile something from our grave in response with Dissident. Oh, they've got an Explosive Prodigy in grave now because they blighted onto it. That's pretty gross. They can just recast the Explosive Prodigy on this Kithkeeper. Might have got us with that Tristan's Command. Card is incredible. Getting the Dissident going again. Suppose we still have a Bitter Bloom Bearer. Another win con. But the biggest part is needing to kill this Dissident. We actually have 3 removal spells. I forgot Gnarlbark Elm will also work. So Gnarlbark Elm and Embrace and Spiral into Solitude. It's going to be a very, very long game, whatever happens. I think they're like 70% favored with this Dawn Hand Dissident, thanks to the Tristan's Command. Another core is pretty bad. They've got the 5/5 out. When they have 4 blockers up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14, 15 attackers. I lose 4 attacking creatures to do 11 damage, put them to 15. That's not enough. Still, somehow, to kill them in like 3 attacks. If I'm losing 4 creatures a turn. One of their blockers is a 1/1 though. So one of their blockers isn't going to kill anything. But they can put the 5/5 on the 4/4. 4/4 on a 1/3, 3/1 on something. Am I genuinely actually attacking with all? No, I can't. I can't, because they could go 4/4 for Pummeler and then also gain more life off of recast. I'm also putting Prodigy back in grave for them to recast. Like, close to doing it, but I don't think I can quite just go wide here. If this sealed pool has like 1 copy of something that gives the whole board +1 or +2/+0, that would be pretty good with all the Kithkeeper stuff. Counting libraries to see if there's any chance of a mill victory if they don't have Pennant in their deck. If they have Pennant, then it's just only a matter of time. Whenever they find Pennant, we automatically lose because of Tristan's Command. Because it can pick up Tristan's Command, and Tristan's Command can pick up Pennant. So they just get to keep looping and killing our stuff every turn. But if they don't, there's a chance this game goes long enough to just mill them out. Okay, I mean, Reaping Willow actually does work on this board because they keep tapping Dissonant in their turn, so I can Reaping Willow back, grub, set up the value attack. I have to do it right now, or Dissonant is going to exile something from grave. If I choose to draw some cards off of this grub, then I will be milling out faster than my opponent, if it does come to mill. Tapped and attacking. Copy of the creature. The copy would enter with the counters. I could copy a Reaping Willow. I could copy a Prodigy if I kill it. Oh, okay, they're just going to kill grub. Fair enough. Flamekin Guildweaver, get a treasure. Hold all the blocks up. 5 blockers. They're not going to chump with Dissidents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. Plus 12. 12 creatures hit them. Twelve creatures hit them, but then they blight to exile Pummeler from grave, replay it, gain life, get a 4/4 back, or they blight to bring Prodigy back. Just gonna do it though. It is a chunk of damage, and they can only reanimate a card once every other turn. They don't have a lethal crackback because of Reaping Willow. So if they try to crack back too hard, then we'll just end up killing them. Oh no, they could blight. They could block Reaping Willow with something small and then blight onto it to kill it, and then I would die on the crackback. Yeah, I flunged it. Well, actually, do they? Yeah, no, they could. They could kill us here. If they just take pretty much all of the damage, except they block Reaping Willow and kill the creature that's blocking Reaping Willow. And they can crack back for 15. This is actually a massive punt attack if they see that. But they're on their final rope, and they're not doing that right now, so we might be fine. Thank God. Worked out about as well as possible for us. They also can't use Dissident because of the damage. They have to wait a turn to use Dissident, or they're killing their creature. That worked so well. That worked way better than it had any right to. I should not have made that attack. So they go to 15. 3 blockers up. Block, 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 take 9. Block, 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 take 9. They go to 6. 3 creatures are dead, but then I still have 9 attackers against... I mean, if I draw removal, it would kill them the turn after this. 6 life against 9 attackers? No reanimation next turn. This is not the right block. They should put the 4/4 on Reaping Willow. But they're out of ropes, so hopefully we get really lucky and we get them into bad blocks. They might have an instant to kill Willow if they're blocking like this. Double block Willow. Double block Willow that way. Okay. Sure, this is also good for me. them to 4. 10 creatures against 4 blockers is dead the turn after this. With 10 attackers, they have to have 6 blockers. So they have to play 2 more blockers, or they have to play a blocker and a removal spell. That's still... So they need 3 more blockers. 3 in any combination of blockers and removal. Five blockers is not enough. Against 10 attackers. They still need 2 removal spells. Oh, even better. We do hit a removal to shut off a block. Ten attackers against 4 blockers. They can just like surveil onto the Wretched Wretch so they can replay it when it dies. If they somehow don't die to 10 attackers. Oh my god, that had no right to work as well as it did. I think they could have killed me on the crackback on my first attack. If they went chump the lifelinker with a 1/1, but blight onto the 1/1 so that I don't actually gain any life there. And then they just like take the rest of the damage basically. Oh my god. I can't in good conscience say that it was the best choice to just go for it there, but sometimes in life you just go for it anyway. And that's what we did there. 7-0. If you showed me a picture of all of the sealed decks we played in this Arena Direct and told me one of them got the collector booster box, I would not have told you. I would not have guessed that it would have been this one. I mean, it's a solid deck. It's got bomb power in it. It's got the Airdew. It's got the Bitterbloom Bearer. It has the Bloodline Bidding. But most of our other decks had plenty of bomb power as well and were more consistent. In particular, like some of the Boros decks we had earlier, you know, had like this much bomb power and a bit more synergy. There's some really awkward stuff going on here that I'm not confident was the right stuff to be doing. But, you know, we had some rough variance, some rough luck in some earlier runs, and I guess we just stacked all the good luck into this one run. Pretty much everything that could go well for us went well for us. Everything that could go wrong for our opponents went wrong for our opponents here. We had multiple opponents just scoop to mana screw. It was a really, really lucky run overall. So kind of crazy that this is the one that gets the box, because I don't think that I built or played to my best in this run. I think there were other runs that we played better or built better decks, built the right decks. But yeah, the deck had power. We splashed around, played our bombs. We had some fun Blight synergy stuff with the Willow, Lamenter, and Elm with some cards to blight on them, like Spiral into Solitude, Bog Slither's Embrace. We didn't get to play the Kithkeeper super often, but they were absolutely fundamental in that last victory. Having the double Kithkeeper is what gave us the wide board to make those incorrect, but lethal attacks in the end. Yeah, not much to say. We got the collector box. Can't be unhappy. But it was a weird deck. I don't know if it was the right build. Certainly didn't make the right plays at all times. We just got that full free ride straight to the 7-0 run here to finally end off these runs with the Lorwyn Eclipsed Collector Booster Box. Let's grab that prize. Get ready to be selling a Collector Booster Box. I do not open Collector Booster Boxes. And yeah, Start off the year with a bang, see if we can't get a booster box in every Arena Direct of the year. Last year, we got really close. There were one or two Arena Directs that I was busy during, so we didn't get boxes during those because I didn't play them at all. And then the only Arena Direct we played in that we didn't get a box was the Avatar The Last Airbender Collector Booster Arena Direct, sadly, but we got the Play Booster boxes still. So luckily, we do start the year getting a box, and we'll see if we can't get one in every direct of the year. I'll certainly be trying to play in all the ones I'll be around for. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.